Yeah, I think it's a society thing. Like, someone was telling me about how there were like these studies that showed that gay people perceive time differently than straight people.
Oh.
And that I find it, my anecdotal contribution to that science is that I know a lot of people who would consider themselves like genderqueer, and they have autism. And I think that that's like, but I think that's all society. Like, if you perceive time differently, you might have ADHD, or you might be diagnosed with ADHD. And then the same thing, if you don't believe in certain like structural what we perceive to be like immovable ideas about gender, then you may not believe in those things or perceive those things in other places, which would probably make you more likely to be diagnosed with autism.
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like if you're not readily accepting of like a societal
Right.
definition of gender,
Yeah.
that probably bleeds into the rest of your
Yeah.
perception. Wow.
But I don't know.
Wow.
The world's a funny place. I'm trying to speak louder. The world's a funny place.
No, you're doing great. That is so fascinating.
It is fascinating.
What does genderqueer mean? Sorry.
I think people use it to like gender fluid, agender, that idea.
Gotcha.
Just another synonym for that.
That is so, yeah. I'm reading Left Hand of Darkness. It's this Ursula K. Le Guin, the poet we've been reading. One of her sci-fi novels.
Oh, cool.
And it takes place in a future where mankind, like some form of humanity, has spread to like multiple solar systems. And there is a collective of like 80 planets, and it's about this envoy who's trying to recruit a new planet that's a little more primitive than the rest of them. And primitive isn't the right word. It is not as developed.
Sure.
They're like in the midst of their industrial age and like don't have the internet. But they have telephones and some form of a radio. But the thing that makes this society so unique is that they are only sexual for like 2 weeks out of the month. And within that 2-week period, they can turn into either gender.
Oh, wow.
So people are like, agender for 2 weeks. I knew it's like 3 weeks out of the month actually. And then for a week of the month they grow genitalia of some kind. And then they have this like sexual like fever. They call it chemering. And it's not really a fever, but they're just horny when they're not normally horny. And so anybody can have a child and anybody can like sire a child depending on where it happens. Right. And they can do some stuff where they control the hormones and can choose which gender they become, but it's like not encouraged, or it's not something that people do popularly. And it's just so fascinating because the envoy, the like human envoy that's trying to recruit them, comes from Earth, so like us.
Oh, sure.
And in the eyes of this planet, they're like shocked that he's in permanent chemering. They're like, what the hell? Like, that's crazy. Like, how are you functioning? And sure. And then their politics are so different because they're just, I don't know, it's so fascinating. Like the gender dynamics and stuff.
That's cool.
I'm butchering it, but I encourage people to check it out. It's called Left Hand of Darkness. It's incredible.
Left Hand of Darkness.
But anywho.
Excuse me.
Thanks for being here, Casey.
Of course. I don't feel bad. I just have a cough.
Oh, yes. We are cutting this episode real close. Much like the last one.
Much like the last one. That's what happens when you get two busy guys
Who gets sick.
who get sick. I was really sick just a few days ago, listeners. It was bad.
But you've bucked up. I'm so proud. I'm so glad. I was so hesitant to even do this episode. I was like, you need to get some rest.
I feel great.
And
I want to get out there. I want to party with the people.
Hell yeah. But anyway, my name's Ari Wojciech,
My name's Casey Young.
and this is.
The Ticket.
Thank you for being here, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
My question for you today, Casey.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Before the question, I wanted to say something at the top of the episode.
Oh, yes, please. Go.
I rewatched 10 things.
Oh, you did?
I watched 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I did not. You
People. So here's the thing. Well, I'll get to that. We'll make it a full circle moment. I rewatched it and I loved it.
Oh.
I was blushing. I was kicking my feet. I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to see what happens.
Oh, I'm so glad.
As a person who's not particularly fond of Taming of the Shrew, not even like, I don't know. I don't have to qualify it. I find it pretty cut and dry.
Sure.
But I like what they did.
It's
you
fun.
know? And I think it's fun. Like it's really, really fun. I wish that I had seen it before the episode where we talked about it, so I could talk about it more. But my favorite thing was actually that Patrick and Cameron aren't really friends.
Yeah.
Like the movie feels like they are and that they should be, but they're not. They don't really talk to each other.
Yeah.
They have no reason to be friends.
Yeah, and he's like Patrick's a pawn.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I feel like friend dynamics like that are tricky and kind of awkward. Like there are people in my life who I think there's kind of this assumed intimacy, but then when it comes down to it, when we're like alone, it's like, oh no, wait, we're actually not that close.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
And I feel like that movie kind of does pull that off in the prom scene.
Okay.
Like, I don't like what you're talking about. I feel like there is a moment in the movie where it is like awkward. It's like, wait a second, we're actually not like chummy.
There's a great one where I want to say it's the first scene, or like the only scene where they're actually interacting with each other, where Cameron doesn't seem afraid of Patrick, where it's when he's spent all that time with Bianca to get information about Kat. And then he goes to Patrick and he's like, here's what I learned. And then Patrick's just kind of sitting there and he's like, all right.
Right, yes.
And,
yeah.
And you'd think that it would be a bigger moment, and it's not, because they're not friends.
Because they're not friends. Yeah, totally.
Where it comes into play with the prom scene that I liked was that you're so emotionally invested in Patrick and Kat that you kind of forget about
Bianca.
Right.
Yeah.
So then when prom comes around, I'm like, oh man, now Kat knows. And then the hot guy is beating up Cameron, and it's like, oh right, you guys are here.
Right. This is the reason it happened.
This is the whole reason it happened. But yeah, I loved it.
That is so funny. Yeah, no, they totally usurp.
Yeah.
Which
I think is genius.
Is that not how it is in the play?
I've only seen Kiss Me Kate. And it's kind of how it is in Kiss Me Kate anyway. Which they're just putting on a production of Taming of the Shrew. That's the whole point. That's the whole gimmick of the movie.
Oh, I didn't know that. I've actually never seen that.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good, and we're gonna leave it at that. It's really great, and it plays with. If I remember correctly, there's scenes that are off stage, like where the actors, they're doing Taming of the Shrew as they're putting on Taming of the Shrew.
It's a show within the show.
Yeah, So
Okay, that's cute.
they're actors doing Taming of the Shrew, and then the woman who just so happens to be playing the shrew, I don't know her name.
These are
She-
true.
Yeah. And she hates the guy that's playing her love interest, and it's a whole thing.
Wow.
It's really well done. But that's basically what it is. I mean, there's not really like a plot as much as the play starts, and it's like we've got to get her a husband, and and then it starts. And
I
you
will
forget the
say-
other characters.
I will say 10 Things I Hate About You sets that up. Like, it makes sense.
Yes.
Like the dad being like, you can't date until she date. Like
Yeah.
it's like that. Even in 2024, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah, because
Like-
people did that.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember because I had forgot that's how they. I was watching it and I was like, so how are they gonna make it work? And then when he says that, I was like, oh, yeah,
Yeah, it like totally plays.
it doesn't play like an adaptation at all.
Yes, yeah. I
It's
really dig
clueless
it.
but good.
Wild. So in the draft of the script I've read, their mom is alive,
Okay,
and it like it's such a weird. I don't know. That change feels so significant because him as a single dad I find so compelling.
it really, I think. Well, you know what it was? I thought that's what I like so much more actually is that I thought that their mom was dead, but she left.
She left.
She left.
Yep.
And I think that's so much better. It solves all the problems that you can have with having a mother that's dead in a movie. And I think that if she was around, you wouldn't be able to have like this uber feminist take.
Yeah.
Because like, why is she letting her husband treat these girls like shit?
Yes. Yeah. Totally.
Like, what would she do? She'd just sit on the sideline and be like, "Yeah,
Well,
he's
that's the
right."
thing in that script. Yeah.
That
She's just on
sucks.
the sideline. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes sense that they cut it.
Where you get like this, it's sad and it sucks and it's a shitty thing to do, and also you get like a nice bit of flavor text where it's just like where you get to imagine their mom as someone who looked around at her life and said, "I don't like this,"
Yeah.
which is like the perfect mix of Kat and Bianca,
Yeah.
and
Totally.
then she just walks away.
Totally. Another script I'm reading right now, the Stardust script.
Okay,
Have you seen that movie?
yeah,
God, I love that movie.
it's good.
It's good.
I'm not a fantasy guy. It takes a lot
that's
for
right.
me to...
Yeah, you hate unicorns. You hate
They're
that.
not real.
Why am I even bringing this up? No, in that script also it's an early draft and the main character the mom and dad are there. In the movie it's just the dad.
Mhm.
And he's a bastard child. His real mom is like in the fantasy world or whatever.
Oh, right.
So it's not even that his mom is dead or anything. They just like cut her out.
Right.
That's I feel like I've seen that in others, like early drafts where it's like there's two parents and then in the final movie it's just one.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a casting thing or if it's just like streamlines the story. Like what?
I wonder.
Why is that a pattern?
I feel like there's probably the bit where I hate to be that guy, but I imagine that there are people who are like, well, I don't really know what a woman would do in this situation.
Damn.
But also I think like I think that like at least in Western society, the idea of not having a mother is so sad.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if you want to do an automatic tragedy on your film, you just kill the person's mother.
Yeah, I mean,
just
Land
kick him
Before
out completely.
Time still fucks me up. But I guess both of his parents die. So, spoiler.
If any of you guys were planning on watching The Land Before Time
Yeah.
at 30 years old, you missed it up until now.
Yeah, I guess it is that old, huh? Actually, I think it might be older.
It's older than that for
Yeah,
sure.
It's like 35.
All Dogs Gotta Have Anyone.
Yeah,
Banger.
I don't like that movie. I
Okay.
fucking hate that
Okay.
movie. The fact that they go to hell crazy. That's
If
fucking
all dogs can go to
wild.
heaven, then you have to understand that there is a hell involved.
Jesus Christ.
That's where the people and the crocodiles go.
Oh man.
You can't keep a good dog down.
Is that from the
Can't
movie?
Yeah.
Damn.
You can't keep a good dog
I like.
down.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've only seen it once.
I've seen this so many times. I love that movie. I love that movie.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
That's one of those dark ones. Another one is We're Back. Did you ever see that one?
No, I haven't.
That one's also really dark and spooky.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It presents itself as so sweet and charming.
No, the ending is like horrifying.
They die again.
Spoilers
for
They
We're
turn
Back.
into like, they're not like soft and plushy. They turn back into their like carnivorous selves.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Spoiler, fuck.
Spoiler for We're Back.
um,
We're spoiling all the classic kids
yeah,
movies
I
today.
don't know if they're classics, really.
They don't like, they're not Disney classics where it's like, oh yeah, but I feel like everyone has seen them.
Yeah, everybody's seen them. There's like
I haven't seen We're Back, but
they're like a weird. That was just like such a weird era.
yeah.
Like I feel like they just didn't know what to do.
Now they don't make animated anything anymore. Despicable Me 4, kill me! Kill me! Stop making
Yo,
Despicable Me.
Those new Minions gross me out. The one with this crusty flesh.
They're superheroes. Did you know that?
Ugh.
They're super.
Fucking kill me.
Killing.
Jesus.
I'm so tired of Illumination.
Yeah, they Boss Baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting a lot of Boss Baby vibes.
I've never
from them.
seen. I've never seen.
It's all right.
Boss Baby.
It's not the worst one. It's no Despicable Me 4. I liked
it's
Despicable
good?
Me. What if Despicable Me 4 is good?
Yeah.
I'll eat my shoe. I'll see Despicable Me this weekend, and we can post a video of me cooking and eating my shoe
Yeah.
if Despicable Me 4 is good.
Um.
Have you seen that movie? Werner Herzog eats his shoe. He does it. He boils and eats his shoe.
Wait, it's a short film.
Yeah. He lost a bet and he said, "I'll eat my shoe," and then he did it.
What was the bet?
I don't even remember.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. What was the bet? I don't even remember.
No, he eats the shoe. That's the spoiler.
Oh yeah. Spoilers for Werner Herzog eats his shoe. He ate his shoe.
Dude, he's so fucking awesome.
he's
damn
just
it.
fucking cool.
But we digress.
Yeah, I meant for it to be a short little. I didn't mean to bring us into this world.
I'm loving this. I'm so glad you liked it. So
Yeah.
10 Things I Hate About You stays on the list.
Absolutely.
Okay, fuck yeah.
Letters to Cleo. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love
Oh yeah.
Love them to death.
Jesus Christ. Fucking that soundtrack's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I'm hoping that somebody on Reddit is like, here are all the posters in Kat's room, because I would love that.
That's fun.
You know,
That's really fun.
She's
I would
cool.
subscribe to a Substack that did that sort of thing.
Whoa, did somebody say Substack that did that sort of thing? Somebody should do that.
We're that's a plug for
That's a plug for my upcoming Substack.
yes.
That will not have anything published by the time you listen to this episode.
We're cutting this one close, people. Just we'll announce it the next episode.
Yeah, my first post is scheduled for July 19th.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I finished it today. So
Hell yeah.
we're set.
I'm so proud of you. That's fucking awesome, actually.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, Casey, now that you're embarking on this journey,
That's a great segue.
it is time for us to unearth your idols.
My idols. So I feel like Idols has like a what is this called? Like there's a mythological air to what you're saying here. So
Oh, sure.
with you tell me exactly what an idol is. Not so I pick the right one, but like I kind of get it, but I'm like trying to get the vibe of.
I think an idol is something that could potentially detract from like
Sure.
your highest self, your like
Sure.
true path.
Okay.
Um,
That's what I was afraid
and maybe
of.
not this get in the way, but it can muddy the waters.
Okay.
You like start making decisions that you're like, wait a second. Am I? Yeah. So, listeners, what we're talking about is
Listeners.
my question that I have for Casey today, which is, you can only have. This is how the question starts. You can only have 3 of these concepts, ideas. Money, power, pleasure, or prestige. You can only have 3 of those. Which one do you get rid of?
I'd get rid of power for sure.
You get rid of power.
Yeah.
So you have money, pleasure, and prestige.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't like all the power that I've had in my life. I don't handle it well. Not even like I become a horrible person. It's just like I'm not equipped for it. I feel like power I think power and leadership go hand in hand, and I'm not a leader in any sense of the word. I'm not ready for that. So I'd rather get rid of it and have the other thing.
When talking about this and thinking about becoming a director, how do you feel about that?
I'm very inspired. So in my room above my little writing space, I have a Mount Rushmore of directors.
Oh, okay, cute.
And one of them, despite him not being my favorite director, I love John Cassavetes' style, and especially how he loved to kind of. I mean, I understand that he was a raging narcissist, as well as he knew when to. It sucks. He knew when to step back and let people do their thing.
Mm.
And I think that's something that I'm very open to doing. And I think that I achieve in other areas of my life where I can just be like, you know what this should be like. I'll let you do that. There's no reason for me to be in your way on this.
Mm.
And I'm fine with that. That's how I think about things like that in art. And
Yeah.
I don't
okay.
see the point in bossing somebody around because I'm not equipped for it. is
Yeah,
what that- that's-
right.
Other people can handle it better, I guess, and then do.
Okay. Well, right on.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know if that
I'm
answers your
glad
question.
your willingness to let go of power doesn't negate your aspirations to be a director.
Oh, thanks. I hope so. Anyway.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right. Like, a part of leadership
Mm-hmm.
is knowing when to relinquish power.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I disagree with you. Actually, I don't think power. I don't think it's like a 1-to-1 relationship.
Sure.
You know. But yeah, okay. So you've got money,
Yeah.
pleasure,
Yeah.
and honor.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Now you can only have 2 things.
Now I can only have 2 things.
Yeah, what do you get rid of?
Okay, so that one's tough. Because I know. Yeah, where I see this falling is exactly how it is in life.
Is exactly how your life is now.
Not exactly how my life is now, but where it's like, yeah, no, this actually makes a lot. Like if we just tick one off,
Yeah.
in levels, I'd yeah, then I'd probably go for prestige.
You're getting rid of prestige now.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be comfortable than like for lack of a better term, famous.
So you've
You know what I
got money and pleasure.
Yeah, And those two are too similar, I think.
Mm.
Yes,
Okay, now you can only have one.
I'd have pleasure for sure.
Pleasure.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I only money only survives so long because it's required in a lot of pleasure. But yeah, absolutely. Oh my God.
What? Oh man, this is so interesting. That's actually not what I expected.
That's not what you expected.
Yeah.
What did you expect?
I don't know. Well, money lasted longer than I expected.
It's just because, like, you know, if I want somebody to feed me grapes, I need to be able to buy the grapes.
And the person who's gonna feed you the grapes.
Yeah, and I gotta pay the person who feeds me grapes. Yeah.
Well, unless it's like a lover,
yeah, I think
which
that's
is
part
where
of it,
the
like,
pleasure comes in.
That's where the pleasure comes in. If I have to pay the person, then it's like, oh, well, this sucks. They're only here because they're being paid.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's rough.
Or I mean, some people are into it.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great if I could find some. And then if they could buy the grapes, that'd be great.
Oh no, I was saying if somebody was into paying for it, like part of the experience is like I'm paying for this.
Sure.
You know?
That doesn't mean anything to me. That's why I got rid of money. 'Cause
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me.
yeah, exactly. Same. No, I
Yeah.
feel that. What where does pleasure manifest itself in the most fulfilling way in your life these days?
That's tough because I'm so discontented all the time.
Jeez.
Where does pleasure? I don't know. Jesus, I'm changing my wardrobe.
Hell yeah.
And I don't buy nice clothes. I just buy new clothes.
Mm.
And that's always a good time. I feel like, because then that's like, clothes specifically, and this reminds me of something that we talked about a long time ago. I think that you get like gratification and pleasure in so many different ways versus like I don't know, you eat a nice piece of cake or something. Like, if you've done it correctly, you get the pleasure of spending money. You get a new thing, which is always fun. And then you also get like a new version of yourself.
Whoa.
And that's always like,
damn.
bam. You're like a new person when you step out.
Right,
And it makes everything better.
write about that in your Substack.
That's exactly what I'll do. Like, you guys ever had a really nice shirt?
That's a nice breakdown.
Thank you.
That was like more moving than I anticipated when you started. I was like,
I'm
okay,
you
yeah.
spend money.
Yeah. Like, hell yeah. And then, yeah, shit, you're a new person. Totally.
Just from a little shirt.
Absolutely. Same with haircuts.
Oh, man.
New
Nothing like a
haircut,
haircut.
new you, yeah.
I love a haircut.
Yeah, especially a good one.
Yeah.
Obviously, Christ in heaven.
Especially a bad haircut.
Especially a bad. Ari's tired, everybody. No, that's lovely.
What about you? So, okay, so you can only have 3.
Yeah. So there's power, pleasure, money, and prestige.
Yeah.
Of the 4, the first one I get rid of is power, yeah. Like,
Is that what I got rid of?
yeah.
Yeah.
I really feel that. I like, yeah, power just kind of freaks me out.
I buckle like a baby.
Yeah. And I really find that, like, and again, because I've been in like leadership positions, and it can be so empowering to just let people do their thing
Totally.
and just kind of like point in a direction. And Yeah. I feel like directing, you can either have a soft, malleable power or a hard power.
Mm.
And I have no interest in a hard power.
I don't get it personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've become more and more resentful of people like that. Like as I've learned how many of them there are.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It is tricky though, because yeah, I don't know, but power just no, I don't need it. Like this, like being a president,
Why?
fucking kill me.
Why would you do that?
Yeah,
Why
And
would
I'm
you do that
also-
to yourself?
like I'm so far in that opposite direction of like I don't want any, like being a mayor, any of that shit. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Being a CEO,
Yeah.
fucking Christ, kill
Yeah.
me. Like I don't, any of that shit.
Yeah.
And then when I meet people who like aspire to that stuff, I'm like confused. I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like, why?
Why?
I just want to chill,
Yeah.
you know?
I love to chill.
So speaking of which, there's pleasure, and then there's money, and then there's prestige.
Yeah.
I get rid of money.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
thought-
mean? Yeah.
I thought you might.
You're just like, look at the way Ari lives. Of course he gives up money. No, I think I got so fucked up choosing to become a nurse and having that job as a day job while
Mhm.
pursuing filmmaking and acting and all this stuff. I think I really bit myself in the ass because as a nurse, my income was so stable.
Mhm.
I was getting raises regularly, and my benefits were crazy.
Mhm.
I had these like retirement plans that just kind of like automatically kicked in that I like did the minimum paperwork on. And I had like PTO, all this shit. And on top of that, when like I've had the easiest time finding apartments
Sure.
because I always got approved.
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm about to have a coughing fit.
Oh, yeah, go crazy. But anyway, like, yeah, so
Thank you.
I get PTO, all this stuff. And then I've always gotten approved for every apartment I've ever applied for.
So sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Do you need a minute?
No, I'm okay. It's just lingering. Sorry. Thank you.
Oh, no. And like I've never needed a cosigner.
Wow.
I've never needed a guarantor or whatever because of this job as a nurse. And now suddenly I'm trying something new. I'm trying to get by differently and really focus on acting and writing and filmmaking. And suddenly I'm like, I don't know how to live really. Like on a small income. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm kind of like trapped in this apartment. Cause suddenly now I do, like, I either need to save up an exorbitant amount or have a cosigner or, you know, just get another nursing job, which I guess I could. But like, yeah, I feel so inadequate and it's made me resentful. I'm like, I want to know what it's like. I want to know how to live on a tight budget.
Sure.
And not like in a frugal, like penny pinching way, but just in a really practical, like, this is how you stretch a small income and this is how you can still live a fulfilling life with a little money. Like that seems exciting to me and empowering. And I'm just like, I've worked some insane jobs that paid really well and I could go back to that. I could be making crazy money, but and working in like really scary environments, and like sacrifice like my mental health, my dreams and desires for money. I could do that.
Right.
But I'm just not interested. I'm not going to do that actually.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are like, are you crazy? Like a lot of people don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
what's that guy? He's a guy that you've brought up before, like a financial expert or something. Excuse me. And he had some statistic that was like, people who don't enjoy their jobs spend more of their money.
Oh, yep.
My mom is a nurse, and she's always talking about, she's like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? It's like, cause it's unfulfilling, because she's not in like a mean way, but she's never had any like artistic desires.
Mm-hmm.
Even her dreams just so happen to be financially smart, whatever.
Yeah.
So she doesn't understand it. Like, where she's like, why wouldn't you do something that supports you in place of, it's like, because it doesn't make any sense, but because you have to, like, it's just something that you, I know what you're saying.
No,
People
yeah. Well, I think
it's
that
crazy.
it is a real generational thing. Like,
Sure.
yeah, I mean, my parents, they can't wrap their head around me opting out of nursing. They're like, wait, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think like purpose and direction, it's so much more life-giving than a paycheck, even though I do think a regular paycheck is so addictive. It's so addictive.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I'm in withdrawals. Like I just, there's weeks where I'm just like, oh shit, like I can't be like spending like this or living like this because I just can't do that anymore, and it's like,
Yeah.
it's horrifying. But yeah, I give up money. Yeah.
Look at you.
So that leaves me with
Prestige.
pleasure and prestige.
Well.
Fuck.
Well.
This is actually really. This is really hard for me, actually. Like, fuck, dude. Pleasure or prestige?
Which one will he pick?
I feel like on my deathbed, I'll be like, I wish you chose pleasure. But right now,
Sure.
I want prestige.
Wow. He's locking it in.
Oh, fuck. But this is what I mean by, like, idol. Like, I think, like...
Sure.
I think I would... I think there's a part of me that would sacrifice stuff in the pursuit of prestige that ultimately wouldn't give me life. Like, it wouldn't like, fulfill me. I wouldn't feel...
Yeah.
What's the word? Yeah, I wouldn't feel fulfilled. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But on paper and the idea of it, it's like, oh yeah, it'd be fucking awesome to be the best at whatever, or to be known for this thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh God, this is horrifying. Actually,
Did you not plan on?
I really didn't know. I was like, I know it's
answer?
gonna be those two.
Mine was just horribly easy. Like, when I read that, I was like, oh well, yeah, fuck those. I'm like, power gross. Pleasure, yeah, wins. Pleasure
Dude,
wins.
no pleasure.
You don't have to say. You don't have to change your answer.
No. Pleasure makes a lot of
Pleasure's the
sense.
best.
Like I think,
Excuse me.
I think about like an old person, and the ones that seem to be the most fulfilled are the ones that seem to like kind of they maximize pleasure from their life. And I don't mean that in a like they're getting fucking wasted and all this shit. No, it's like they are able to find the beauty in like going for a long walk or like watching a sunset, and they're like really deliberate with their time. They like spend time with loved ones, and they cook and bring people together, and
Right.
like
And you just want to polish your Emmys, and
yeah.
you're like, you're watching YouTube videos where you're like, here's why Ari's the best director of the 21st century.
God.
And you're like, hell yeah, hell yeah,
Dude, that's exactly
autoplay.
Fuck. Maybe I should just quit everything.
And other people are like, I love my grandchildren, so I just want to cuddle up with a good
I wouldn't
book.
even have grandchildren, probably.
No, you want to keep the legacy going. You're like, and now you're gonna be a genius. And you're gonna be a genius.
No, see, that sounds more like power.
Ari Jr. and Ari the Third.
Nope. Definitely not. But yeah, that's it. That's my fuck, dude. Yeah. But yeah, what are you sacrificing for pleasure?
Everything.
I guess.
Everything. At any possible moment, I will sacrifice everything.
What presently are you sacrificing?
Like right now, sleep. What do you mean?
I guess like because what your last two were money and pleasure.
My last two were
Yeah, it was
money and play. Yeah.
What recently have you given up money for pleasure? Like what? And it was like an extreme. It was like an example of like fuck, like that was kind of irresponsible, but it felt good.
Oh yeah. I do that all the time. I'm so bad. So here's the thing. I will save money if it's for something fun. Like if I said,
That's great.
Thanks. If I said, I'll go to New York in a couple months, I'll save every fucking penny. But I have bills. I literally forgot to pay my taxes. I have to do that.
Oh, this is funny. You save, but it's not really saving.
It's not saving because it's gonna be spent.
No, but you're like, because saving happens when you like pay your bills. And then,
saving my ass, I guess. Yeah. What do you
Yeah,
mean? Saving happens when you pay your bills.
like like it doesn't make sense to like put money away when you're like owing stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really funny.
And then I also have been known to like have $30 to my name, and I'll be like, well, I get paid in like a couple days. I can get by on $10 for a couple days, and I'll spend $20 on bullshit, fucking whatever.
Like what?
I don't know. Let me think of something. Okay. I get paid in a couple days, so it's not a big deal. So I didn't do this. I actually made a smarter financial decision, but I have a small amount of money right now, and Alien Romulus tickets just came out.
Jesus Christ.
And I got and I'm going with my friend opening night, and I was like, I could spend the $50 on these tickets. Why? I need the Alien Romulus tickets, and I've been riding that high all day. I can't wait for Alien Romulus.
This makes me feel so much better because I like marvel at how many movies you go see.
Thanks.
And I'm always like, man, I just must be like an idiot with money.
No. I mean, I know, not compared to me, no. But also I have figured out every possible hack to not spend money at the movies.
Oh,
like
hell yeah.
I go to this I go to this movie theater. It will remain nameless. And nobody's ever there. And I figured out that I can just go see another movie. Like I'll buy a ticket, and they'll just go see another movie.
I fucking love that.
I know people that work at so many movie theaters around here. If I was like, I don't want to pay for a movie, I could just not pay for a movie. I have Movie Pass. I have AMC A-list.
So actually, I do feel bad. I'm like, yeah, I'm being a dummy. Like,
I mean, it racks up. Like, I showed you that spreadsheet, right?
Yeah, amazing.
And it had the thank you. And
so listeners, explain the spreadsheet.
So I'll go all the way back to the beginning. I used to work at a Kohl's, and I have a very dear friend there. Her name is Kyla, or we used to work there together. Neither of us works there
Kohl's,
anymore.
like the retailer?
Yeah, Kohl's the department store. And she is dating this guy. His name is Luke. Luke is wonderful. These are all friends of the podcast. They're great people. And me and Luke really like movies. Kyla also likes movies, but that's not really like what our friendship is based on. And Luke and I met, and we like hit it off immediately. And we were like, oh yeah, we gotta go see some movies. And he was like, make a Google Calendar. I will never be able to figure out Google Calendar. Oh. I don't understand how it works. It's not for me. I only use it to send you invites for our podcast.
That's so funny.
Like,
we can do something else.
We don't have to. I mean, as long as it doesn't get any more complicated than that. I use iCalendar. I use the Apple Calendar all day, every day. I have so many different fucking setups on that thing. I love iCalendar. Google Calendar is so confusing. So the name of my spreadsheet is movie schedule parentheses because I don't know how to make a Google Calendar. So it's Google Sheets. It's an Excel sheet. And what did it have? It had the date. It had the time, the title, the release, the director, the runtime.
Yes.
The theater.
Oh, yes.
The price. It had a link to the page where you could buy tickets. And then it had a column if there was like a Q&A or an intro or something.
It's beautiful.
Thank you. And then I color-coded it. The green was what I had tickets for.
Yes.
Blue, I made blue for myself. Blue was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to go. And that was it, actually.
This is great. You need to publish it.
Thanks. That'll be on my Substack.
Yeah, it's incredible.
But, so, I was thinking, because I'm not an office boy like that. I don't know anything about Excel. And I was like, I can add up these.
Clearly do.
I just make columns. I didn't know Excel was just columns and rows. Like, I thought, like, people use formulas and stuff.
Yeah, the math on Excel is pretty crazy.
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
You can do.
I mean, yeah, I see people do crazy stuff. And they'll be like, yeah, and if I make it this color, it'll do this. Like, what the fuck? What?
Yeah, it's wild.
But I was like, oh, it can add up these tickets. It was bad. Almost $400, Ari.
For one
$400 for 1 month. Now, some of them I was getting with Movie Pass, and then some of them I have Alamo Drafthouse Pass.
Mm-hmm.
I only pay $2 a ticket for Alamo Drafthouse, and I had the full prices on the spreadsheet.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And even still, it was only like $300. Like,
is that a lot? Is that a little?
It's a lot. It's a lot of money to just drop.
Yeah. I don't know anymore. I don't know what money is.
I didn't go to some screenings. I'm not going to go to other ones. There's some that I already have tickets for. And spending it, it's like one of those things where you look back on like your credit card statement and you're like, oh, wow, that really adds up. That really adds up. So spending it at a time, like you go, oh, $8 for a movie, that's great. I go to the American Cinematheque like every other day. That's $8 every single time I go, Ari.
Yeah, man.
If I dropped that at the beginning of the month, I'd be broke. If it became August 1st and I spent $300 and I was like, I'm set for the month. That'd be crazy.
Right. I mean, that perspective is wild. I mean, this is a perfect example though. So yeah. So pleasure is your idol.
Oh yeah. Because I was looking at it and I was like, well, I can't not see these movies. I was looking at it, I was like, wow, I just spend a lot of money on movies. Nothing can be done about that.
Fuck.
Quite possibly the least necessary. It's so low on the hierarchy of needs. But I love it.
This makes me wonder. Yeah, I'm not really doing that for prestige.
Making a spreadsheet and losing $300.
Yeah.
I don't know what the equivalent to that would be. Are you forsaking your pleasure for prestige?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm
Okay.
like, am I doing that?
Excuse me.
Or maybe I just live a balanced life.
Do you live a balanced life, Ari?
No. I'm working on it though. I think actually no. Cuz like I'm like busy all the time. I knew like I'm doing a show right now. I'm in a play and I'm balls deep in rehearsal. And the Ali Ray, my girlfriend, is leaving for London for grad school.
Ali Ray.
And I think if I had put pleasure first, I wouldn't have done this show. Because this, yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and but this is why this list is so interesting, because they're all kind of like twisted and fucked. Like,
Yeah.
Because if I put pleasure first, I probably also would opt to get a nursing job, because it would be easier to travel and see her.
Okay.
You know? But I'm not doing that.
Sure.
You know, but that feels like more in line with pleasure also, because that job is so stressful.
Right.
It makes me want to like kill myself, you know. But yeah. That's like an immediate. Yeah. This just feels like less immediate. It's like more like long game stuff.
Yeah. Which is the con of prestige. Like that kind of always.
Yeah, it's
is
always going
you
to be
have
long
to.
game. Yeah.
But I guess it's it's coming,
Sure.
and you're just like, if I do A plus B equals C kind of thing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're like day to day is just
Like $20 for a movie, thanks. It was all right.
Oh my God.
I don't regret spending the money.
That's so funny. Well, I'm about to find out if I'm gonna regret doing this show. I'm having a blast. It's fun. It's a great cast.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. We'll announce it next episode.
Hell yeah.
Well, thank you, Casey, so much.
Thank you,
for
Ari, so
being
much.
so forthcoming.
Oh, of course.
So now that we both know our idols, let's hear it for Criterion Casey.
I used to love that song.
What song was that?
Oh,
I didn't even hear you.
Let's hear it for the boy.
Oh,
the Footloose soundtrack?
Yeah, totally.
Love that song.
I
Don't
did that
get me
musical
started.
in high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good times.
The only musical I did that was a movie was I worked on Grease. I wasn't even in Grease, but I worked on it.
Oh, what'd you do?
I just helped but I was 15 and I was in town and I was helping the director, like,
Oh, cute.
just kind of.
Oh, yeah, because you did a lot of children's theater, huh?
Yeah. I did for like 7 years.
That's so cool.
It was great. It was a great time. It gave me a big ego.
Thank
as you
God.
can tell. Yeah, it was great. It was one of those things where you come out of it and you're like, what do you mean I'm not the second lead in this musical? What are you talking about? I'm good. Yeah. I guess there's other things required.
I wish I felt like that.
I don't feel that way anymore because I think I'm too pragmatic. um, and it's really bad. I'm too pragmatic to a fault, and then I'm one of those people that's like, I shouldn't have to prove anything to you. It's like, no, this is an audition.
Yeah.
Maybe you
The
should
point
a little
is-
bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't wanna. I'd rather not do anything at all. And look at me, I won.
yeah. You're on top.
I'm on top. So today, Criterion Casey.
Criterion Casey.
This actually is all. Life is a big mash. It's cyclical. It's time is happening all the time.
Yeah, it's a flat circle.
Flat circle. As in, Shelley Duvall died today.
Yeah, that's right. Rest in peace.
Huge,
75.
a huge loss for the entertainment industry. So we're going to talk about her Three Women with Robert Altman.
I've seen this. This is a big deal. It's a big moment.
Whoa.
Dude,
I didn't
this
expect it
movie's-
so soon.
This movie's good. I was about to comment. I was like, "Oh man, 3 Women is so good."
I would have left. I would have just unplugged the mic and left. So this is episode 23.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know if I should keep doing the bit anymore. It's over.
I
I
mean,
made
it's
it 20.
over. It
Yeah,
just-
I made it 22
It
episodes.
just ended.
Well, 3 Women.
3 Women. I mean, this one's a banger. Go
a banger.
forth. Do it. Criterion it up.
Right. So time is a flat circle. I didn't know Shelley Duvall didn't want to be an actress. She wanted to be a scientist. At all. She was friends with somebody who was friends with Robert Altman, and they had a conversation. He was like, "Do you want to be in a movie?" And she was like, "Oh, all right, yeah." And it was Thieves Like Us, I think. And
Oh, I didn't realize that was her first one. It wasn't Nashville?
was it Nashville? Okay,
I think it might have been
Nashville. Okay, there we go.
Sorry, I did a whole Altman. I had a whole Altman era in my life.
Wow. Have you seen Clute?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you had seen Clute. I almost talked about Clute, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to do Clute. And then I chose the other movie you've seen.
Well, Clute's Pakula?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Fair
doing
enough.
an Altman thing. I was like, oh, I could talk about Clute. Because for my Substack,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
working on a piece about Shelley Duvall and Donald Sutherland.
Oh,
They're kind
fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he put her in Nashville. Yeah. And I was reading, Roger Ebert had a really great interview with her, and she was talking about, she was like, Robert Altman felt like the only person that really believed in me. And I was like, oh, well, that's why she's so fucking good in his movies.
Mhm.
3 Women, 1977. It's directed by Bobby Altman. Spy number 230.
Okay.
Great one. Early hit. I'm not gonna lie and say that I loved it. I didn't. I'm not. I don't understand movies sometimes. But what I thought was so interesting about like the filmmaking. This is great because now we can talk about it.
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
both
yeah,
know what
yeah,
it is. What I thought was so interesting about the filmmaking is how often, in like these really tiny ways, he's like playing with the idea that they're the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I mean, yeah, spoilers for 3 Women. If the movie can have spoilers, it never explicitly says that they're one person, but it keeps playing into this that they're all the same. I was watching the bit where, well, I was hyper aware to the part where when Sissy Spacek is in the coma, her parents are fucking on her bed, and Shelley Duvall sees them. That's the I actually would love your perspective on this because I can't figure out what the movie's trying to say about sex. It keeps coming up, and it plays it as like this dirty thing, and I don't really understand what the point of that is.
I forgot about that. It's weird that, I mean, probably very telling that I just like shut that off.
because it's awful.
Yeah, it's like terrible.
But that's what's so good about that is that the scene plays like Shelley Duvall seeing her own parents having sex.
Yeah.
Not like she's shocked and scarred, but for the viewer, it's like, ew,
Yeah,
those are my parents.
Awful. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. You know, keep going. Sorry, I don't want to.
Just that. So, if I understand correctly, or maybe I wasn't paying attention very well, it was hard to tell. Like, the geography of the movie is so off.
It's very ethereal.
Yeah, it's just like, I guess this is a place, and I guess this is where the rooms are. Like, you had no sense of perspective. So it's hard to tell whose bed is whose.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to even figure out that there were 3 beds in the apartment because she keeps talking about the pull-out bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah, because Sissy Spacek and Shelley Duvall are roommates.
Yeah. And then there's a third. It's a. She calls it something else, but it's a pull-out bed.
Yeah.
And there's a third bed, and she's like, if we have guests. But then when
Who's the oldest? The other is the third woman.
Janice Rule. Willie. Her name is Willie.
Yeah. Fuck. I need to rewatch this movie.
It's wild. It's a wild one.
It's a really strange, very strange film. But yeah, I don't know, man. The sex thing. Can't really comment on it. My big takeaway was like we had watched. So I watched these movies with my friend Ryan and Mike, friends of the podcasts, and we watched MASH. And I was just I had never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
That movie is insanely misogynist.
Oh yeah, you were telling me. I haven't seen it.
Like, I was really. I was like, this sucks. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the way they treat women in that movie is disgusting. And if you watch his movies chronologically, you get the sense. I got the sense. I was like, oh, he like feels bad about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like 3 Women is him like coming to terms with that, because all the men in it are like awful.
Yeah.
And they like get their comeuppance, and these women like prove that they don't need anybody. They like, we can live on our own. And yeah, that like 3 Women feels like a direct response to the Robert Altman who made MASH.
Sure.
And I find that really interesting.
That's great. I mean, it's good to grow and change.
Yeah. Yeah. For what it's worth. But
because I mean, I think he's kind of like incredible with women. Like the common thing where people are like, oh, men don't know how to write women, and then there's the inverse where people go, this man was actually really good at writing women. Robert Altman, like I feel like he knows like some secrets or something. Like
yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like that, and that's why it's so strange. Like, again, like his filmography after MASH feels like he's making up for how fucked up that movie is. And even like the Women in Nashville, like that movie's another example of a movie that's very ethereal, very like it's just a vibe.
This is a vibe.
Like, it's hard to discuss the plot, and 3 Women is like that. And if you can get on its wavelength, it's a blast. But yeah, his characters all feel so 3-dimensional amidst the ambiguity.
Yeah.
And there's one woman in Nashville in particular. She's this singer, and she has the famous number on the boat, where it's like full force, and it's beautiful, and they like play out the whole song, and she the whole time she's having like a rough time. She's like doing drugs, going to the hospital, and all this shit. But yeah, you're right. Yeah, he is good at writing women.
They're just so good. My favorite. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Come back to the Five and Dime. Jimmy Dean.
Fuck, I haven't seen that.
Banger.
Yeah,
It's
I've
so
heard
good.
nothing but good things.
It's a hangout movie. It's one location. Sandy Dennis, Karen Black, and I guess you could say Cher is the third lead. They're like the anchors of the movie. But then all these other actresses kind of come in and out. Like Kathy Bates is really funny for like 5 minutes.
Cool.
But it's based on a play, and he directed them all in the play.
Oh,
and then and then he made it into a movie. And it's great. And it's got some really great characters. Do you know the plot?
No.
So they all work at a Five and Dime, and they all love James Dean. And then
Oh, cute.
this is like all told in like flashbacks. So it's like 6 women and a man. And then James Dean dies, and it's very traumatic for all of them. Like it like rocks them to their core, and it's the thematic marker is like it's like the death of the town as well. Like nobody comes into the shop anymore. So then it's 20 years later, and they're like, let's have like an anniversary. Let's get together for James the 20th anniversary of his death. And the man that they used to work with has transitioned. And
wow.
yeah, and Karen Black plays her, and she's unbelievable. And she has so like there are these scenes where people will be like, you gross, and she's just kind of like, oh, all right, like, and she's got these bits where she's like, I don't know what, like they talk about sexual reassignment surgery, and she's like I can't, like certain things are just like too complicated to explain, like it's so layered, like it feels very modern.
Whoa.
Yeah. And what I like so much about it, but I love it to death. I wish that he had explored it more, and I kind of also wish that like there was a political climate to explore it more. A lot of what Sandy Dennis's character is wrestling with is that she was in love with her when she was a man.
Oh, sure.
And now she's getting all these same feelings, and she's like, but I'm not a lesbian. And she completely shuts down like the second half of the movie, where it's just pure like internal monologue, like where she's just like she doesn't know how to feel, and it's just all of them in this Five and Dime. It's so good.
Wow.
And he's unbelievable. I think it's like they're some of the best characters ever.
Wow.
He's great.
Almond Rocks, dude. Yeah, he really stole my heart. Once we got past MASH, and even before MASH,
Yeah.
he's got some great movies. He has this wild movie called Rainy Day at the Park or something like that.
Cold day in the
Cold
Park?
Day in the Park.
Yeah.
Cold Day in
Yeah.
the Park.
I just saw that got a 4K restoration. I was like,
Oh.
what the fuck?
Oh shit! Yeah.
Oh, Sandy Dennis.
Yeah. Wild movie. It's just about
Yeah.
this lonely woman who. There's this young man on a rainy day in the park who's just in the park, and she takes him in, and then he just doesn't leave, and chaos ensues. And yeah, it's it's like so nuanced and weird, and again ethereal.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Altman is wild. He also does this incredible thing. He notoriously had his grip truck. He had a truck almost the same size for his sound department, which was like unheard of at the time. And he would have like 4 or 5 sound guys rolling.
Wow.
And so you'll see there are scenes that play out where you hear a conversation as if it's right there, but it's in a different part of the scene.
Sure.
And it's a trip. Like he's such a like auditory filmmaker.
Yeah.
His soundscapes are so weird. But have you seen McCabe and Mrs. Miller?
No. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, fuck. This is probably boring for people, but no, McCabe and Mrs. Miller, like one last Robert Altman plug. McCabe and Mrs. Miller is an incredible Western. Like, I think it's so fun.
Hell yeah.
It's fucking what's his face?
Warren Beatty.
Warren Beatty. What the fuck is her name?
Julie Christie.
Julie Christie. And
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall, that's right.
Yeah.
And it's about them opening up like a prostitute. What the fuck? Where do you
Brothel?
Brothel. About them opening a brothel in this like wintry mining town.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, that's all you need to know. It fucking rocks.
That's all I need to know.
Yeah, but yeah, 3 women in honor of Shelley Duvall.
It was interesting. I mean, but
You're not into it.
I'm not into it.
Yeah, you don't like it.
Because here's the thing. So thinking of films that are in conversation with each other.
Okay.
You've got Persona.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 3 women.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Yep. You're going in. Yeah.
You've got Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'd even throw May December in there.
Oh.
I like the Persona. Persona almost feels like they both, like the idea of this transformation. I like that Persona feels like they both want it to happen, and that they just kind of let it happen. Where Mulholland Drive and May December, probably because they're about acting, they don't know it's happening. And I like that 3 women is both.
You're talking about the like relationship between the women.
Yeah. If we were to make all of these films really literal for the sake of this argument,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Persona, they become the same person. 3 women, they become the same person. Mulholland Drive, May December,
Yeah.
they become the other, like they become versions of this person, right?
Yes.
And Persona plays like they meet each other, they know each other, they have this relationship.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. And that they're like enraptured by this. Like it's positive, it's welcome, and they let themselves fall into it, becoming the same person, becoming versions of each other, that kind of thing. I think 3 women, I think the first part plays where they're very resistant to it. Like, I think so much of Shelley Duvall's discomfort around Sissy Spacek is, I mean, she makes her uncomfortable. She's very discomforting in that movie.
Yeah.
But is around how similar they are, and that it almost seems like Sissy Spacek wants to become her, and that Shelley Duvall is trying to rebuff that, right? And then when they switch, to be literal, it is completely unnoticed by them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when we get to the end, where Willie really kind of gets to be a bigger part of the plot, in my opinion, it feels like at the end of the movie they've welcomed it. That
totally.
You know, where it feels like then they can kind of start over.
Yeah, the
I find that
ending
interesting.
feels like a weird like rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just find that interesting. Was my
That is
why
interesting.
I like that so
Tying
much.
in May December, I'm like, yeah, I totally see that. I love that.
Love May December.
That movie rocks.
So good.
Oscar snub.
I can't believe how poorly they were treated at the Oscars. The Academy posted a clip of Charles Melton the other day of the bit where he's like, if we're so in love, why can't I talk about this? And that whole scene. And I was like, so why didn't you nominate him? Because he's good in it. He fucking killed it.
You nominated Bradley Cooper? We already did an Oscar episode.
I have
but 3 women.
3 women. This relates to how I feel about Shelley Duvall in that movie. So I forgot to write down who said these things. I have two very short quotes on here.
Lovely.
I saw this tweet. A friend of the podcast, Michael, he reposted this tweet. These are both, well, this is in honor of her after she's died. And he says, the camera didn't just love Shelley Duvall, it adored her. Nobody who looked or moved or talked like that could ever, quote, disappear into a role. Instead, she was like a flesh and blood special effect. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, which is a mark of, I think that's what makes her even more than a great actress. That's kind of what makes her like a seminal figure in film, where nobody could have done what she did.
Yeah, she's so distinct.
It has to be Shelley Duvall. And I like this one as well. They almost feel like contradictory, but I think they're saying the same thing. Roger Ebert, in his 1980 interview with her. He writes it as like he writes in his thoughts between like their conversations. So he'll have a question for her. It's much more fluid than this, but he'll have a question for her. She'll respond, and then, which I like, a lot of journalists do this, which I really enjoy. And then they'll go, and this is what I thought about that. Like, this is what I was thinking at that moment. And he said, this was between, she was talking about how much she liked playing Olive Oyl in Popeye, and how she felt like Olive Oyl was the first like strong female character that she had played in her career. And you know, she had wrapped up kind of talking about working with Kubrick and how she felt like nobody recognized her in that movie. Like when The Shining came out, she was like, and everybody kept talking about Kubrick, and she was like, and no one was talking about my performance. They were just attributing it all to him.
Yeah, right.
And it's that exact same thing. She was so talented because I felt like she's almost invisible. Like, you can't tell that she's acting, which is how good of an actress she was. But then Kubrick especially is one of those directors where all of the good things about the movie people will attribute to him, which is just, you know, I'm not a fan. So
and I mean, that shit's like so gross too, because so much has come out about how he just shit on her.
Yeah.
Throughout that whole process.
Yeah.
Like, systematically, almost. It seems like.
I have a real Rebecca's one of my favorite movies ever, but something that I've always found so disheartening about that is
starring Armie Hammer and Lily James.
I hate Ben Wheatley. I hate him. Why would you remake it? You ruined one of the best movies of all time.
Yeah, I don't understand how he keeps getting to make movies.
I don't get it.
I like
likes
Free Fire.
I'm glad Brie Larson got a paycheck. Cillian Murphy's in that.
Cillian Murphy too.
I'm glad Cillian Murphy got a paycheck.
And fucking what's his face from Midsommar? What's his name?
Oh,
he was almost
Jack
on Solo.
Something. Jack. Oh, Jack, the one that's burned up in the house.
Yeah.
Jack, James. Sure.
I think it is Jack. Jack O'Connell? No. Fuck.
Jack.
It doesn't matter. Bad podcasting.
While you're looking that up,
I have to look it up now.
Alfred Hitchcock told everybody in the cast to be mean to Joan Fontaine. They were like, ignore her. Don't talk to her. If she comes up to you offset, don't talk to her. And then Joan Fontaine was like, yeah, it was really hard making that movie because I felt like everybody hated me. And he was like, I just want to get the vibe in the movie. Why? That's an awful thing to do to someone.
Yeah, that's so fucked up. That's so fucked up. Speaking of Roger Ebert, I forget what movie he was talking about. Actually, I think he might have just been talking about movies. But he was like, movies are empathy machines. And I think you could say that of all artwork. But movies in particular, right? You're seeing humans and...
Sure.
Blah, 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 blah. And when I think about that, it makes me love movies. It makes me want to make movies, makes me want to watch movies. I think if your creative process requires that you harm somebody, you deliberately like manipulate and sabotage and hurt somebody, you're negating the art form. It's no
Sure.
longer an empathy machine. Like, it's an empathy machine because ideally you are taking actors, craftsmen, engineers, etc. You're taking them into a safe environment to create something that's unsafe and scary or dangerous or really sad. And it works because me, the audience member, is like, oh, I know that they all went home after and were fine.
Yeah.
Therefore, I can just like release into the experience of the movie.
Yeah.
But if I find out that you fucking tortured Shelley Duvall for Jack Nicholson's whack performance, like, fucking kill yourself. Like, I can't. Like, that's fucked up. That's not a movie.
Yeah.
You know? And then, like, hearing stories of, like, of Shia LaBeouf, like, killing dogs
Oh yeah.
to get into
Yeah.
character, fuck off. Like, are you crazy?
I love when it's for the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Like
That too. The Collector.
when Jared Leto was mailing rats when he was the Joker
My God.
for Suicide Squad.
Oh my God, kill me.
He's not even a good actor. And for Suicide Squad.
What is David Ayer just
Jesus
doing
Christ.
to these men? They're like, this is what I must do for the art.
He's fucking crazy. Because David Ayer's crazy.
I've never seen End of Watch.
End of Watch has David Ayer problems.
I remember enjoying Fury, for what it's worth.
I haven't seen Fury.
I mean,
I like Training Day.
I love Brad Pitt. David
Pitt's
Ayer
cool.
did Training Day.
David Ayer wrote Training Day. Antoine Fuqua.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And I like Training Day. End of Watch is like Training Day again, but it's like you just made them worse. Like Denzel Washington was like
God.
a kind of dirty cop. Well, actually no, here's the thing. Denzel Washington's kind of a dirty cop and he's doing it for quote the right reasons. And Ethan Hawke believes that there can be good cops. In End of Watch, they're both dirty and they just run around fucking people up. And that's the movie.
Oh, God.
It's like I kind of don't want to see this actually. It's not fun anymore.
Yeah, that's a weird trope that I think America's kind of gotten over.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Dirty Cop in a while.
Yeah, I feel like there was a hot second when it was like, we love watching a dirty cop hurt people.
Yeah,
but yeah, I haven't seen that in a minute.
I can't even remember the last movie I saw that was about a cop.
I've been watching Harley Quinn and what's
Right.
Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, love Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, he's like, I'm a damn good cop.
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
a mess.
He's yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah.
I like Commissioner Gordon in the Batman.
Jeffrey Wright, man. I mean, I like
He's
Jeffrey
great.
Wright. Fuck,
Yeah.
he's so good.
Um,
Great casting choice.
Oh yeah, when they cast him, I was like, oh, obviously.
Yeah, great.
He should just
casting.
play him all the time.
Yeah, why did they have a Penguin series? Where's the Jeffrey Wright Commissioner Gordon series?
If you did a procedural with Jeffrey Wright, Commissioner Gordon,
In Gotham City?
hell yeah. Hell yeah.
They already kind of did that, but
What are you talking about, Gotham? What are you talking about?
with Ben McKenzie.
I like Gotham pretty okay. I thought it was all right.
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty okay. It's pretty okay. Ben McKenzie's fun. I think a lot of it being a prequel works in its favor. I think it makes it make sense.
A rare thing.
Yeah, I don't. The thing was is that it couldn't sustain itself, and that's why it got worse as it went on. But the first season's good.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I feel like that's the issue with so many shows. It's like, how do you expect this to go on?
I know.
Um,
But I do like getting back to manipulating your actors. I like the alien chest burster scene. I think that's great.
that is cool.
I think that should be allowed.
Yeah, that's
Like,
cool.
The Willy Wonka train scene. I think you should be allowed to scare people.
Yeah.
I think it's so fun.
I think, and again, but it gets back to this thing of like, okay, that happened, and then they all had a laugh.
Yeah.
And then
it was
and
over.
and then everybody went home, and it was fine, and they all had great careers, and nobody
No one
came
was
out and was like,
traumatized.
Ridley Scott was a fucking monster. Like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like when I hear that, I giggle. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome.
I frequently, I think I'm trying to like mine Substack ideas, but I frequently think about like my favorite screams in horror films,
Sure.
and one that always comes to mind is, because I think it's so fucking funny. I listen for it every time. Is in Alien when the chest burster pops out, and then you see like Yaphet Kotto and Tom Skerritt are shell shocked. They don't know what's happened. And in the very back of the audio, you could hear Veronica Cartwright go, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
And it makes it.
It's
It makes it.
nauseating.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's like, oh no.
I feel bad for her every day. Her character, anyway.
Rough.
Everybody on the Nostromo. What the fuck?
Yeah, R.I.P.
Buy your Alien Romulus tickets, everybody. It's 35 days away.
You bought tickets for a movie that's 35 days away?
I had to get the best seats. I'm like second to last row in the first section of the Chinese.
This is all starting to make more sense.
I'm gonna see it on IMAX.
That's gonna be a thrill.
Because it's gonna sell out. So
Yeah.
you gotta
You gotta get in there.
You gotta get in there. But I have Movie Pass, so I only paid $25 for 2 tickets, basically.
Oh.
I'm so smart.
Hell yeah.
Alien Romulus.
But back to 3 women.
3 women. So Roger Ebert is putting his little anecdote in his interview.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to the anecdote?
No, I didn't read it.
Fuck, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's a really great interview. Obviously, I'll link it in the show notes. It's really great. So he says, in all of her roles, there is an openness to her, as if somehow nothing has come between her open face and our eyes. No camera, dialogue, makeup, method of acting, and she is just spontaneously being the character, which I feel like is the same sentiment. Because she's great. She was a talented lady.
She had that prestige.
She got the prestige.
Yeah.
I hope that wasn't one of her. Well, it couldn't have been because she retired. She retired on her own terms.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
So it
think
couldn't
that was
have
her
been.
idol.
I wonder.
Yeah, me too.
Money.
Yeah.
I would love money. I would love for like her. They keep calling him her life partner, which it's not a bad thing to call somebody. It's just I hate when people use that. It feels so like I don't know. Feels like a try hard
Hippie.
kind. Yeah, like my life partner. But I would love for her life partner to come out like in a couple years and be like, yeah, she was like money obsessed. She was always thinking about money. We used 1-ply toilet paper. She was so fucking greedy with her money. I just think that would be so funny.
What are the other ones? There's power,
Money, pleasure,
prestige.
prestige.
Power is what she's after.
She was so mean.
The small town she was in, I've heard stories that they were like very protective of her.
I believe it.
Like people would come to see her, like to find her,
Oh, sure.
and the townsfolk would be like, "Get the fuck out of here, leave her alone."
I follow this girl on Instagram who it was a fan page, but she was her friend. and like she's like 25 years old, and she'd go and visit her every so often, and she'd post pictures. She'd be like, "Here's me and Shelly. Oh, it's Shelly's birthday. We did this." Da, da, da. So the picture she posted today was from Sunday, which was her birthday.
Whoa.
And she was like, "This was us." She was like, you know, she was obviously like, I lost a friend. I never thought that this would happen. Da, da, da. And then she was like, but I loved spending time with her. She loved spending time with her friends. And then she was like, this was a picture from her 75th birthday, which was just Sunday.
How did she die?
She had diabetes, so it's complications from diabetes.
Oh.
Oh, that's the nurse groan.
Yeah, I mean, diabetes just sucks, man. It's like, it's terrible. Yeah, if you're pre-diabetic, get fucking get on that shit.
Get sorted.
Mm.
She has a talent.
But I mean, you can still get it sorted even after you cross that threshold, allegedly.
Sure.
So, there's always ways, folks.
I don't think my dad cured his diabetes, but he got to a point where it was like he was like a normal person again.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. Like the type 2 stuff, especially
Excuse
like
me.
diet and exercise. Like, I know it's cliche, but
Diet and exercise
can get you somewhere. Yeah, Shelley Duvall, rest in peace.
She was great.
3 women. Any closing statements?
Sissy Spacek's really good in it too.
She's wild. I started watching
The Old Man and the Gun. Actually?
no
Oh.
the Terrence Malick Badlands.
Badlands.
Started watching Badlands. Couldn't get over the age difference.
Sure.
I don't like that she's so young.
Sure.
Makes me uncomfortable, so I stopped.
Is that the point? I haven't seen it.
It's not really the point. It's just Sissy Spacek meets sexy boy
Martin
Sheen. And they fall in love, but he's like 21 and she's like 15. And it's just like, I don't want to do this. And I know it's a different time, blah, blah, blah. Still makes me feel, it's just weird. She's a child. She's a child.
That's weird.
And she has the power dynamics are weird.
Sure.
Like, I know,
Of course.
I have friends who are dating within like really broad. There's just age difference. There's an age difference.
I'll say it. Don't. I know you can't because they're your friends, but I don't have any friends like that.
Right.
Don't.
But these friends that I'm talking about, there's the power dynamics are very even. Like my friend, they could leave at any time and they would be fine.
Right.
In the dynamic that's like brewing between Sissy. Well, I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But if they were to run off together, she would be like beholden to him.
Sure.
And I don't like that.
Sure.
Anyway, the point is, Sissy Spacek, similar to Shelley Duvall, it's just like nobody else can do that.
Yeah.
It's just like she's wild to watch.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it's a tired point, but she's so good in Carrie because of that line that she can rock. She's fantastic. I think like the Scream Queen, the idea of a Scream Queen is so like broad and it's worn, and I love a Scream Queen. I'll literally hail anyone a Scream Queen. I don't care. But also I think that sometimes like if you say Sissy Spacek is a Scream Queen, I feel like then you have to also say that like, but also her performance is really good. Like
right, it's like diminishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's not a Scream Queen because she's in a horror movie. It's an unbelievable performance.
It's great. It's easily the best part of the movie.
Absolutely.
Like,
she's incredible.
and that's a movie. I'm so glad that her performance is kind of on par with the De Palma-ness of it.
Yeah.
Unlike The Shining, where I think people don't often talk about Shelley Duvall in The Shining.
Oh, sure. I see what you're
know,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Sissy Spacek is right up there
Yeah.
when that movie's talked about. She she's still so good. That LCD Sound System music video. Oh Baby, have you seen that?
She's acting in that video.
It's a short film,
Cool.
silent short film. It's her and David Strayhorn
Oh, huh.
as a couple, and it's
Cool.
glorious.
Hell
It's
yeah.
great. One of my favorite. It makes me cry. I love that music video so much. Ryan Johnson.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out. Yeah. Sissy Spacek rocks.
She rocks. I think that, like, thinking about that, I feel like the way Sissy Spacek and Brian De Palma ride that line in Carrie, like, where they complement each other so well, I feel like that is Shelley Duvall and Stanley Kubrick. Like, Jack Nicholson feels kind of like, which I get is the point, he kind of feels like he's sweeping through the movie. But I think that Shelley Duvall and Kubrick are making the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is so fucked up about not recognizing her performance. Because she feels like a Kubrick protagonist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That makes everything about that even more sad.
You know, I think it infantilizes her to say she deserved more. I hate that. But I also think that there were moments in her career where people should have been like, "Oh, she fucking rocks," and then they didn't. And it's like, well, that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that just makes me mad.
That just makes me mad. Well, thank you, Casey.
Oh, of course.
That was lovely.
I love movies.
I love movies too, man. Let's keep watching them and keep trying to make them.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. I hope that was entertaining.
Yeah, I hope that was entertaining. I had taken out a book of poetry from the library by one Rupee Kaur.
I thought it was Cower.
I can like
Cower.
I can like kind of visualize it. Anyway, I got her New York Times best-selling book of poetry.
Was it Milk and Honey?
Milk and Honey. That's the one. And I was so shocked at how much I didn't like it. I went to the library today when I should have been going to rehearsal to return it and get this 19th century collection of women poets.
Hell yeah.
An Oxford anthology. 19th century poets, though, at least in the Western world, they write some long-ass poems, though. So I finally settled on one by M.E. Coleridge.
M.E. Coleridge.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Her poem, Eyes. Eyes, what are they? Colored glass, where reflections come and pass? Open windows, by them sit beauty, learning, love, and wit. Searching cross-examiners, comfort's holy ministers. Starry silences of soul, music past the lips' control. Fountains of unearthly light, prisons of the infinite. Ooh. Yeah, I don't really know. That one just leaves me feeling a little spooked and sad, and makes me think of The Matrix.
The Matrix.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking of, like, the Middle Ages.
Oh, wow.
I know it's just 1800, but I was thinking about, like, people in sack clothes. And there's dirt everywhere. And they're like, eyes. What are they? Like, wow. Yeah. Wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's playing a lute.
That's fascinating. No, yeah, I was thinking about, like, I can fall into this thought pattern that as a child really scared me. I couldn't get out of it.
Oh, no.
As an adult, I can kind of get out of it easier. But that feeling of, like, why am I looking through these eyes?
don't even get me started. It's
that's
so
what that
bad.
poem makes me think of.
And then when you're like, wait, but then Ari also looks through his eyes, and our experience will never be similar. We're living two completely different lives. We couldn't be further apart.
And we're sitting right next to each other.
Yeah. You know? But we both have eyes, and our vision comes out of our eyes. We'll never look at ourselves in the face. Isn't that crazy? Ever. And my hands. I have hands. Don't get me started.
On that note, my name's Ari Boychuk,
My name's Casey Young.
and this is
The Ticket.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.